I actually think there's no such thing, and this is going to sound odd, as a fully remote company. Every firm that I talk with who is remote first actually gets people together on some regular episodic basis, right? There is an element of human connection that is hugely valuable to people. And I think the meeting spot in the middle is really going to depend on the company. But I do think that there is an advantage that goes to firms who lead with a mindset of flexibility because it gets them access to more talented individuals in more locations. It also gets those people more engaged.
AI can serve as potentially a creative partner, not in terms of just artistry, but in terms of almost brainstorming with a bot to kind of come up with these problems, So I wouldn't completely rule it out, but I do think that the more you lean into your humanity in a world where more and more is being automated, the better off you'll be.
There's been a lovely shift to help support hybrid work is really leaning into human-led design. It's really thinking about designing the space around the human's activities or needs or how they complete their work, because we all are very different. And instead of just looking at status or team needs, it's looking at the individual and thinking about what are the variety of different spaces that an organization should have on each floor, which goes to a variety of beyond the workstation offices and meeting rooms, which is your traditional programming, individual spaces beyond the workstation, which is focus rooms. So everyone, regardless of their status, has the ability to have privacy on demand.
Going into work for a lot of people set some very hard and fast life boundaries. Office was the office and home was the home. When the home is the office, where's the boundary? It's not there unless you create it. And a lot of us have not been trained or nor understand how to create those kind of healthy boundaries within our own living space. So when you are placed in a situation where all of your work is done virtually, and yes, you see people on a screen, I get that, but there's not the same connection. There's a different level of connectivity that is needed for a lot of us to feel the social rest that we have to have, that feeling of kind of I'm understood. There are people who are literally standing by me. And I think a lot of us didn't realize how important that actually was until it was taken away.
So for me, I think it's less about using time as this metric to suggest that more can be achieved, as opposed to saying with the time available that we have, how we can self-improve ourselves to be happier and healthier versions of ourselves and work more efficiently and effectively within that time. Like, we can't deny human physiology and human psychology. If you focus on a task for too long, you will start to lose concentration. Yes, you can employ certain tactics to continue to, be engaged or whatever. But the reality is that if you were dedicating too much time to something, you were doing it to the neglect of something else. And we are holistic creatures. And in order to find actual optimal human performance, like elite sport, like aviation, any of these industries, you must factor in rest and recovery in order to achieve better performance the next time around.
We're seeing in our data, and we only looked at office workers that were in the office at least a little bit of time. We found that they're in about half the time, only at home 20%. 30% is in all these other locations. And in fact, the most innovative were twice as much in those other locations, like third places near their home. Business travel is back. People are working in other offices. They're at their, across their company. But we're also at client sites, job sites, customer sites. We are out and about the same amount that we were pre-pandemic.